Diggs here in Carbondale, Colorado, taking a break among this beauty. It actually brings up a good topic. There was a prior video in where I talked about what universal health care make America great again, and I gave some examples of, don't mind the flies here, but I gave some examples and how people could essentially find great quality health care at a fraction of the cost. And you can definitely refer to that video, but I kind of want to expand upon that. Even in an area like this, they call this the Roaring Fork Valley. It's like Aspen to Rifle, which is altogether probably a corridor of about almost 85,000 people. But in an area like this, healthcare it's expensive. It's not cheap at all. Like a chiropractor adjustment costs you $125. And so it kind of very mirrors places like Southern California, places like Manhattan. And I say that to say this. Maybe you may live in a city that has a higher cost of living, or even an area that does as well. But you don't have to be limited to those higher price options. For example, in an area like this, there's options like community acupuncture, and where it's sort of like a sliding scale of what you want to pay. You could pay, for example, there's one I go to, you can pay $30 a session. You can pay 40, 50, or 60, or if you want to pay, you can pay kind of the market rate and you get a private session. That's for acupuncture. Also, there's things like community chiropractic, which I'm actually a member of, sort of like a franchise across the U.S. in many of the major cities. It's called The Joint, and you can get, essentially, a half a dozen to about 10 different chiropractic sessions in the package, and you pay about altogether like $30 each, which is great compared to the market rate, which you pay about, I don't know, like anywhere between $60 to $85. So that's something else to consider. So these types of alternative medicine or health and wellness, these types of modalities to help yourself feel better, you don't have to be limited to the expensive options. There are more affordable options as well. The past 30 days, I've been going to the spa, and where they have things like the infrared sauna, and where you're kind of in this chamber, and the temperature gets up to like 150 degrees and helps you detoxify. In a lot of areas that can be quite pricey, but a session I paid essentially was about like $22 for a session there for 45 minutes. And then in that same place, they also have these flotation tanks where you can, it's like 300 pounds of Epsom salt. You lie in this huge tank, and it's dark, and it promotes like sensory deprivation. And you just lie there for like, almost a little over an hour. And I paid $30 for that. And I definitely have to say it was quite invigorating. It relieves a lot of tension, your muscles, your joints, helps you relax, and definitely a good alternative as opposed to taking drugs for, any type of tension or arthritic pain. So, again, I just wanted to highlight that to show that wherever you are in the United States, you have options. Sometimes if they're not marketed heavily, you may have to inquire with your local health practitioner. And perhaps if you want to commit to a certain amount of treatments, they may be happy to give you a discount. Many doctors actually will like to deal with patients who's going to pay in cash, as opposed to these types of health exchanges because I've talked to people around here. Many say that they don't make a lot of money from that. I don't know how it's divided between all the parties involved, but they prefer that to have patients pay them in cash, but they'll be happy to offer a discount, because in the end they still end up making more money. So just keep that in mind. Also behind me, it's also a great way to relax. Being in places like this can be very helpful for mental health disorders, things like GAD, generalized anxiety disorder, depression, and as well as many other types of disorders in that realm. This can be a great place to relax, self-reflect, and just have a sense of peace and solitude, be among all this beautiful nature. One benefit of living here in Western Colorado, it's, from Aspen to Rifle, this is pretty much like this everywhere. You have stores kind of in between, but that's one of the benefits. So when you get a chance, even if you live in a big city like New York City, Chicago, Philadelphia, Houston, LA, take time to enjoy and embrace the nature around you. Reading this great book right now. It's called The Nature Principle, and I might do a little book review, but I will include a link in the description. But it's my intention for you to reach the finish line. If you like and share it, if you like this video, please be sure to like it and also share it with your friends. If you can subscribe below to be notified at a moment's notice of all of my videos. I'm making videos Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, I create playlists that reinforce certain themes of reaching the finish line. So if you want to start reaching the finish line, you can also go to reachingthefinishline.com. And until next time, I hope you're reaching your finish line.